Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to be reading some boring and mundane facts to help you fall asleep. I figured what's better to help you fall asleep than listening to some incredibly dull and dry facts. So, without further ado, got my phone here and I've got the facts pulled up. So let us begin. No number from 1 to 999 includes the letter A in its word form. Unless you live in the UK, where it's proper to write 101 as 101, there is no number from 1 to 999 that includes the letter A in its word form. The opposite sides of a die will always add up to 7. You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. Playing dance music can help ward off mosquitoes. The King of Hearts is the only king in a deck of cards without a mustache. Dreamt, D-R-E-A-M-T, is the only word in the English language that ends with M-T. Those metal studs on your jeans have a name and a purpose. The next time you're wearing a pair of jeans, take a look at the pockets. Do you see those little metal studs in the corners? They're not just there to add some extra pizzazz to your pants. They actually have a purpose. These rivets, according to Levi Strauss & Co., are placed on certain spots to add extra support, where the denim is more likely to wear out and rip. I never knew that, but it is very boring, that's for sure. A Greek-Canadian man invented the Hawaiian pizza. I actually like pineapple on pizza. I'm one of those people, so. If you open your eyes in a pitch black room, the color you'll see is called Eigengrau. I mean, I usually just call it black or dark, or, just saying. Cats can't taste sweet things because of a genetic defect. It's possible to turn peanut butter into diamonds. A group of hippos is called a bloat. Paganophobia is the fear of beards. Alaska is the only state whose name is on one row on a keyboard. And Tessera-decades and after cataracts and sweater dresses are the longest words you can type using only your left hand. The average adult spends more time on the toilet than they do exercising. I feel like that's probably obvious, but that's just me. Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. I wonder why that is. Let's actually read what it says there because I'm curious about this one. If you've ever broken a nail down near the base or lost one completely, you know they take quite a while to grow back. In fact, the American Academy of Dermatology says that a fingernail takes around 6 months to grow from base to tip, and toenails can take up to a year. But a couple of factors tend to speed that up. Fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand as well as on your fingers. And nails also grow faster during the daytime as well as during the summer months. Well, okay, I was hoping they would tell us why, but they didn't. So, a jiffy is about 1/1,000,000th of a second. Dragonflies have 6 legs, but can't walk. Golf balls tend to have 336 dimples. Montpelier, Vermont is the only U.S. capital without a McDonald's. Apple seeds contain cyanide. You know, my grandma used to make me eat the seeds in the apples when I was young. I don't know why, but she did. Never liked it. Mulan has the highest kill count of any Disney character. A cubic inch of human bone can bear the weight of 5 standard pickup trucks. A frigate bird can sleep while it flies. Jupiter is twice as massive as all the other planets combined. Your body contains about 100,000 miles of blood vessels. The little dot above a lowercase I and J has a name. It's called a diacritic dot. The chicken and the ostrich are the closest living relatives of the Tyrannosaurus rex. There's a trademark on the world's darkest shade of black. The average American spends about 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. I feel like they're talking about me specifically. If you plug your nose, you can't tell the difference between an apple, a potato, and an onion. I'm gonna have to try that out at some point to see if that's true. Punctuation wasn't always a part of our written language. The real name of Monopoly mascot Uncle Pennybags is Milburn Pennybags. The infinity sign is called a lemniscate. Taco Bell was named after its owner, Glenn Bell. You cannot hunt camels in Arizona. Why would you want to hunt camels? Like, of all the things that you could hunt, why camels? There are giant Technicolor squirrels in India. Oh, it's actually very pretty. Check it out. That's like really pretty looking. Nice coat of fur there. The inventor of Pringles is buried in a Pringles can. That's dedication right there. Riding roller coasters can help you pass kidney stones. That's cool. The largest scrambled eggs ever made weighed nearly 3.5 tons. Dr. Seuss invented the word nerd. Spoon-fed is the longest English word with its letters in reverse alphabetical order. There is a city called Rome on every continent except Antarctica. Octopuses and squids have 3 hearts. The first email was sent by Reid Tomlinson to himself in 1971. The lint in the bottom of your pocket has a name. It's called Gnurr, Gnurr. So, there you go. Massachusetts is home to Busta Rhymes Island. Ketchup was used medicinally in the early 1800s. Captain Crunch's full name is Captain Horatio Magellan Crunch. Movie trailers got their name because they were originally shown after the movie, which is hilarious because you might imagine no one's going to watch it after the movie. People used to answer the phone by saying ahoy instead of hello. Pound cake originally included a pound of all of its ingredients. You would likely mutate in space without a spacesuit. We've all seen movies where people are sucked into to space before meeting their doom in various ghastly ways. However, the truth is probably much more intense. According to IFL science, if you found yourself in outer space without a spacesuit, you'd swell up, burn, mutate, pass out, and your lungs might explode. Wondering about that mutation element? Well, IFL science explains that the UV and other high-energy photons, X-rays, and gamma radiation would damage your DNA, leading to mutations that would likely cause cancer if you survived. And you also can't hold your breath in space because your lungs would rupture, so it's actually better to have no breath in your lungs. But then you would suffocate, so therein lies the dilemma. Rainbows were called bows of promise in Victorian English. An earthquake might have shrunk Mount Everest. The tool used to measure your feet at the shoe store is called a Brannock device. There's an optical illusion at the bottom of the sea. Space travel makes mice run in loops. Scientists are aware of the fact that space travel takes a toll on the human body, but it turns out that it also does something strange to mice. When 20 rodents were sent up to the International Space Station, they started to suddenly run in loops around their cage after just a week, according to a 2019 study published in Scientific Reports. Once one mouse started to run, the others quickly joined in. While researchers don't know exactly why the mice were acting like race cars circling a track at top speed, they think the little critters might simply have been enjoying the rewarding effects of physical exercise. Queen Elizabeth II is a trained mechanic. During World War II, then 18-year-old Princess Elizabeth was a member of the Women's Auxiliary Territorial Service, making her the only woman in the British royal family to have served in the armed forces and only living head of state to survive in the Second War. The average American produces 4.5 pounds of trash per day. One man set a world record by putting on 260 t-shirts at once. Dolphins give each other names. That's pretty adorable. Bottlenose dolphins develop their own unique identity signal, the signature whistle. The researchers reported this whistle encodes the individual identity independently of voice features. The copying of signature whistles may therefore allow animals to label or address one another. And sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins. Schoolmaster is an anagram of the classroom. There is only one walled city in North America. Ravens know when someone is spying on them. Frank Sinatra was offered the starring role in Die Hard when he was in his 70s. Sleeping through summer is called estivation. You produce about 6 pounds of stool per week. Around 16 million people alive. Around 16 million people alive today are direct descendants of Genghis Khan. He did get around, didn't he? The cheesiest pizza ever was topped with 154 varieties of cheese. It's delicious. Pope John Paul II was an honorary Harlem Globetrotter. Basenji dogs are the only breed that doesn't bark. Goo boys. The most common password is 123456. But why? Like, why is that the most common password? People should know that it doesn't work. Anyway, the largest bill to go into circulation in the US was a $10,000 note. Messages from your brain travel along your nerves at up to 200 miles per hour. Marie Curie's 100-year-old belongings are still radioactive. Nobel Prize-winning scientist Marie Curie died as a result of the vast amounts of radiation she was exposed to during her groundbreaking work, but her body wasn't the only thing to absorb the emissions. Her clothes, belongings, including her furniture, cookbooks, and laboratory notes, were also saturated with the deadly radium particles. That's why even though Curie died around 85 years ago, her possessions are still radioactive. And since radium has a half-life of 1,601 years, they're likely to stay that way for a while. That's really interesting. It just goes to show how our lifespans are just a blip on the radar in terms of how expansive the universe is and all of the different elements surrounding it. 1,000 years from now, her clothes could still be slightly radioactive. Or maybe like 600 years, I guess. I'm not sure how half-life is calculated, but something around there, right? We'll all be long gone by then, is my point. Most pandas in the world are on loan from China. Sweat doesn't smell bad. It really doesn't. It's just salty. More than 2/3 of millennials sleep nude. The average person has 4 to 6 dreams at night. Maryland tried to ban Randy Newman's song, Short People. The U.S. Air Force introduced Bob Ross to painting. I feel like this is relevant given this. He's like the father of ASMR, right? So, the late Bob Ross, the host of The Joy of Painting, was known for being a soft-spoken artist with a signature hairstyle and a stunning talent for painting dreamy landscapes filled with happy trees. But he might not have ever been the painter we came to adore if he hadn't been in the U.S. Air Force. According to an interview with Orlando Sentinel, while rising to the ranks of Master Sergeant, Ross was also able to take a painting class, and he was inspired by the scenery in Alaska where he was stationed. The state's landscape would often pop up in his work throughout his artistic career. That's really cool. I remember seeing an interview where he talked about how the reason he's so soft-spoken is because he used to yell a lot in the military, as they do, and he yelled at a lot of people, and he never wanted to do it again. So I thought that was a pretty neat factoid. The sun makes up more than 99% of our solar system's mass. There is a tiny home in Virginia called the Spite House because that's why it was built. In old Christian art, good angels were red and Satan was blue. I guess somewhere along the line they swapped the two. The first Nerf ball package claimed the toy can't hurt babies or old people. The tallest supported bamboo sculpture is more than 164 feet high. A Harry Potter book filled with typos sold for $90,000. Although American readers may recognize the book as Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the British story was originally titled Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and when a few of the first editions were printed, there were some mistakes inside. On top of the word philosopher being misspelled on the back cover, one wand was listed twice. When it came to the supplies Harry was meant to take to school. When one of these books was up for auction in March of 2019, it sold for a staggering $90,000. That's $90,000, not pound. I'm assuming it was sold in America, but it doesn't really specify. is a metallic asteroid shaped like a dog bone named Cleopatra. Queen Elizabeth II's cows slept on waterbeds. A journalist in 1950 predicted that women in the year 2000 would be Amazons, like Wonder Woman. A British teen changed his name to Captain Fantastic faster than Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, Wolverine, Hulk, and The Flash combined. In 2008, then 19-year-old George Garrett from the UK legally changed his name to this incredibly long moniker, which was believed to be the longest name in the world. Once he decided upon a theme of superheroes, he apparently just went for it. I guess why not, right? According to the Bible, the chicken came before the egg. Well, that makes sense according to the Bible. Scientists discovered the fossil of a 430 million year old monster. Nice. He looks like Cthulhu. What is this, like a fake picture? That's from Shutterstock. I like how they put a very ominous picture here. What does it say here? Those who love creepy creatures likely know that Cthulhu is a fictional monster that first popped up in H.P. Lovecraft's 1928 tale, The Call of Cthulhu. And in 2019, when scientists found 430 million year old fossil with tentacle-like features that reminded them of Cthulhu, which was much like an octopus, they officially named the newly discovered species Solacina Cthulhu. Facial reconstruction was used to see what dogs looked like 4,000 years ago. That's cute. The bubonic plague encouraged Shakespeare to write poetry. In an attempt to prevent the plague from spreading back in Shakespeare's time, many public places were shut down until things improved. That's why theaters were closed in January of 1593 and didn't reopen until the spring of 1594. This closure meant that playwrights like William Shakespeare were temporarily out of work, and that's when Bard spent his time writing poetry instead of focusing on his famous plays. It's likely when he began his 154 sonnets. And the last fact here is Antarctica is the largest unclaimed territory on Earth. The continent is governed internationally, through the Antarctic Treaty System, which includes Argentina, Australia, Chile, France, New Zealand, Norway, and the United Kingdom. That I actually didn't know. However, the land can only be used for peaceful purposes. That and a whole lot of science. And there we go, guys. I have to say, these were interesting, right? It's not just me. Like, they weren't really boring. Maybe some of them were kind of boring, but I thought they were pretty interesting to me. Probably one of the more interesting facts we've read on this channel, surprisingly. So, go figure, right? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Don't question it. As long as you fell asleep or you're relaxed, that's all that really matters. I know that I haven't been uploading a lot lately, but I will always pop back in, even if there's an absence for a time, to upload another video. So, that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and good night, my friends.